That's right. If you are anything like me or just happy, thank the good Lord. It's camping season. Well, you have a home here, right here on the Go Show. All right, we celebrate all things outdoors, this beautiful outdoor playground of a world that we live in. Appreciate you hanging out. I know 11 o'clock is our usually start time, 11:02, because of technical issues, which you might notice on the screen. Yes, that is how ugly I am, but that is not the technical issue. The technical issue was just a bunch of stuff all over the frame here, so that was disheartening at best. So we're up and running, and we're gonna lighten the mood a little bit. Holy mackerel! It was a bit of craziness on. There we go. There's a camera coming in there. It was a bit of craziness the past week, essentially. So as we do this show live, it is kind of on the fly with reactions to things and what's going on in our outdoor world. And one of the craziest things was this auction tag thing that just blew the entire outdoor world on its ear over the last week or so. So that kind of made it a little heavy. And then we talked a lot about the NRA. The NRA has a case before the Supreme Court right now. It's being argued this week. So we decided to talk about that. So there we go. So let's lighten it up and talk about some camping, shall we? Yeah, that's how we're going to do it. We're going to talk about some camping. It is camping season, at least here in Arizona and most of Arizona. Flagstaff, I'm sorry, I have no idea what's going on with you. There's a lot happening up there in Flagstaff, including a lot of snow. Yes, intern Beans is not excited to be up there. She loves sun, and I said, you chose that college. That's really your deal. So wasn't me. That was you. Sorry about that. Dad had nothing to do with that. So, but it's camping season, and a little cool thing. I'm wearing this shirt. You can't see it on now you can right there. That's the OG camper. That's Teddy Roosevelt. One of the coolest camping stories in history is the story between John Muir, the OG tree hugger, and basically the stereotypical, prototypical, straight out of Central Casting outdoorsman in President Teddy Roosevelt. John Muir said, hey, listen, we need to figure out a way to preserve our natural wonderfulness in the United States. That's not an exact quote. So we reached out to President Roosevelt, and President Roosevelt said, I got an idea. Let's go camping. Let's talk about it. So two of the most polar opposite people in the landscape of the outdoors, one that just humans should not touch it. We have to preserve it. You should let all the aminals be aminals and just do their thing. And Teddy Roosevelt, I'm taking a crew with me, and we're going to go hunt whatever the heck I want to hunt today kind of cat. Those two had a civil grown-up adult discussion over a camping trip. I mean, come on, there was, private chefs and maybe there's a president here. Come on. And they really got down to brass tacks on how to preserve and how to conserve these wonderful natural resources we have in the United States of America. So the natural parks, the national park system. You guys know me. As here we go, fumbling words here. The coffee will fix that. The national park system was birthed from that, and a poke from the president of the United States for the Pittman-Robertson Act to be passed and signed into law and fund conservation. Because even back then, please understand, a tax on anything, raising taxes has never been believe it or not, has never been a positive thing in electoral politics. Shocking, right? So it hasn't been a positive thing, at least to people that vote that have jobs, because they're like, wait, you took how much out of my check? What? So this was it. So Pittman Robertson they got together and they said, we're going to sign this legislation. We're going to draft this legislation that is going to say outdoors men and women. Y'all need to kick in, and we're going to preserve this, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. So all the outdoorsmen and women said, yeah, we're good with that. Let's go. Let's pass it. Let's make it happen. And they did. It went into law, and 11% of everything you purchase, essentially, for the outdoors, it started as ammunition and firearms, is going to fund conservation in all 50 nifty states in the United States. All of that was birthed from a conversation between two people that just definitely did not get along, John Muir and Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt is my fave pres for that reason. And it shows what's going on this week to, if we disagree on our ideologies, our political leanings, our idea of what is conservation and what should constitute conservation and good conservation practices in our nation, the North American model of wildlife conservation, you can still have a conversation. You can still talk. It's okay. You don't have to hate each other. You need to talk to each other. You see, John Muir could have just gone and said, we need to start a campaign to get Teddy Roosevelt out of office, and he's a hunter and we hate hunters. Teddy Roosevelt said, you know what we're going to pass? We're going to pass the I can go out and stomp all over the land and hunt anything I want act. Called the Teddy. Could have done that. They could have just had a phone call. Phones? Yeah, anyway, they could have just become pen pals. He could have gone to the White House and been invited to the White House. Could have done that. No. That we're going to go on the ground here and check things out. We are going to go see things, and we're going to see eye to eye, and we're going to figure something out. And they did. So it is a good lesson for everybody involved. And when I say camping, this is a show about camping, because again, we're lightening it up a little bit. It's been a bit of a heavy week. Camping sends chills down a lot of people's spines. Like, oh gosh, if I only had an hour to tell you all of the horrible stories about camping when I was a child, right? Everyone has them. And I think that that's something that I want to bring up right out of the gates when we talk about just the basics of getting out there. And just, I'm encouraging all of you right now, if you haven't gotten anything planned for the next couple of weeks, find a night, pick a night where you guys can just go, set up some tents and have a little campfire and really just have a cool adventure with the family, because it is camping season. And no, it's not like dove season. I don't have a camping season chant. Actually, this is the first time in 11 years I've called it a camping season. Anywho. So you think about that and all of those horrible experiences. Do you share those experiences at Christmas? Do you share those experiences around the holidays? Do you share those experiences when you're at family barbecues or family reunions? Yeah. Do you share the stories of camping where everything just went perfectly? Everything was easy. We went out, we set up all the tents. Everything was good. We had a nice little meal and had some campfire marshmallows. Everything was great. And we packed up the next day and we came home. No, you don't share those stories at all. They're forgotten. So I want to encourage you, when your shoulders tense up a little bit when you're thinking about taking the kids out camping over the next couple of weeks. It's okay. It's okay. The biggest mistakes and the biggest mishaps become the best stories that your children and grandchildren will share. And by the time it gets to your grandchildren, it's going to be the craziest fish story ever. Like, there's going to be, we were in the eye of the storm, like a hurricane hit us. I mean, anything, it just evolves. But those are the stories that are the best. So I encourage you to set the bar there. Set the bar where that there's going to be a time where things go wrong. And it's okay. It's okay. You have an option to either, start banging on things like Fred Flintstone, or you can just figure out a solution. So there are several things that have happened in my camping. I'm beach camping once with my father. He decided to rent a sailboat. Thought renting a sailboat for a couple of hours was going to be a wonderful thing to do out in, I believe, his Mission Bay. And trust me, none of this would have been impressive at all had we not capsized that thing twice and ended up on some sandbar island kind of thing and waited for, I believe, the Coast Guard to come get us. I remember that story. I don't remember many stories past that. And I grew up in the woods in the summer times in California, because my father lived in Bass Lake, California, which is, if you remember the movie The Great Outdoors with John Candy and Dan Aykroyd, yes, a lot of that was filmed at Bass Lake, California. So it's beautiful, just absolutely gorgeous, just pines, and forget about it. Yes, and the old 96er as well. Yes, the old 96er. That was a restaurant called Ducey's. And Ducey's actually burned to the ground, unfortunately. So Ducey's was a really cool place that we go to eat all the time. And it burned. And then they collected all the insurance and built a resort on the lake. You want to tick off a small mountain town? Do that. I tell you what, holy mackerel. But so be calm, be cool, be collected. No, something, we're going to forget something. I forgot tent poles one time. Yep. Had to find a spot in the middle of the night. Thank good Lord, Walmart was open for 24 hours. and I just bought an tent. So that worked, but I mean, that was an hour and a half drive away. So those stories, and the kids still remind me of that, by the way. Uh, I cook, and I cook well, and we're going to get into camp cooking here in a bit as well. And I appreciate you hanging out with us. I cook well, and I cook well when we camp. My kids don't talk about that. Hey, remember when Dad just absolutely slayed that tri-tip over the campfire? Oh, remember that? Oh, it's so good. It was so juicy, so delicious. The baked potatoes came out perfect. Oh, it was wonderful. Nope. Hey, Dad, remember we got the tent poles? That's what I get. It's all of it. Yeah, it's absolutely. We're wait a second. We are rolling over Donner Summit right now. NorCal is quite pretty. All right, what's up, Scotty? Appreciate you tuning in, man. Yeah, Northern California is absolutely beautiful. It's stunning. There's a whole part of California that, never mind, we're not going to get into politics at all because we're talking about camping. Thanks for hanging out. This is the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors, not political, in this beautiful outdoor playground of a world that we live in. But understand this now. Now that you have the expectation set, is something's going to go wrong, but that's going to be good. That's going to give us these amazing memories, and I'm not going to freak out about it as dad. Dad's going to stay calm. Dad's going to stay cool. Dad's going to stay calm and collected, and it's going to be an amazing memory. It's going to be a fun thing to talk about later on in life. Now, you think about, oh, I don't have any camping gear. I don't know, what do I have camping gear? You know someone who does, and I want you to borrow that. And by the way, if you're that person that's asked, here's what I want you to do. Oh my goodness. And apparently YouTube, the YouTube bots have found us. So if you're on YouTube, I have Africa Stop HIV AIDS virus. I'm getting all these messages. So apparently, there's a bot that has found the Go Show on YouTube. That's always, I guess, a level of success. You've reached a level of success that the bots like you. So anyway, getting back to this, borrow things. And those that are asked to borrow, please lend. And I'm going to tell you right now the coolest, easiest way to lend something to someone. Okay, this is a very, very important thing. I think it's a very good lesson to learn. When you lend something to somebody, let's say it's a tent. Here's how this goes. Hey, Mike, you think I can get a tent or two? I'm going to take the kids out. Heck yes. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to come by tomorrow at about 5:30. Can you make it over there? Cool. We're going to go in the backyard and we're going to set up the tents. I'm going to show you how to do it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you how to take it down. I'm going to show you how to put it away right. Okay. And when you're taking the kids out this weekend? Okay, cool. How about Tuesday at 5:00? We meet back here. You see what just happened there? They now know that you take your equipment seriously. They now know how to assemble it and disassemble it. And they know that it is going to be returned the following Tuesday at 5:00. Boom, just like that. The following Tuesday at 5:00, you have all your stuff back. It's packed up nice and neat. Nothing's broken. Everything's good. Nothing was forced. Nothing's ripped. That is the way to loan things out. I don't care if it's fishing equipment. Same thing. Want you to come over here. And if your buddy's like, I know how to use all the fishing equipment. Good. I want you to show. I was just reading an article about the lake you're going to right now. I'm going to show you what to throw. Come on over. Same thing. Same thing. Are your kids going to be using my spinners? Are your kids going to be using this? Okay. If so, I need them to come along so I can teach them how to use it. I lend right. And if you think that's not nice, oh, I wouldn't do that to my friends. Okay, then either don't get your stuff back or tell your friends, you go by hit Walmart. You go ahead and make it go and make it a family trip, and you're going to spend a few $100s that you don't need to spend. So borrow the stuff if you don't have it. Dust it off if you do. That gets to the same thing. You're going to set that stuff up, even if it's yours and you're going out. Set that stuff up in the backyard, your tents, all of that. And if you really want to, if you're going to get ready for an entire season of camping with your family, here's a cool pro tip. Set everything up the weekend before as an overnight camping trip in your backyard. And try to stay out of the house as much as you can. What you're going to learn there is you're going to find out what you're missing in your camping box. You're going to find out what you're missing in your tents, or some things you might need, maybe a light, a fan, or whatever it is, some battery operated stuff. How we're going to charge some stuff, that kind of thing. Then it helps you to see before you are out there and realize you don't have it. Because again, it's better to need it, not have it than no, it's better to wait. Yeah. Have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. There we go. Am I going to have to take coffee again? Holy cow. I appreciate you being here. After 11 years, I think you understand, Mike. I know you really do. So, and all of this seems to be hard work, right? I mean, all of this seems like a lot of effort. It is a lot of effort. It absolutely it it I'm sorry, I keep getting blown up by this bot over here on the side. It, fun is a challenge. Fun is to go out and have fun, to go out and do things and explore with your family. It takes effort. It really does. Now, if you want to call that effort hard work, you just want to call it work, you just want to call it just kind of what you do, fine. I think it's hard work. I think having that fun is difficult, and especially packing up and breaking down. It is a very, very tough thing to do. Here's my expectation. In setting up, I want to set up alone. I want to pack everything alone. I want to set up alone. I want to set up alone. I just want to do it myself. Because to me there's a zen in that. To me there is I am setting up for my crew. I am doing this for my crew. I love serving. So I love serving food. I love serving, doing that type of thing. I love that. Acts of service would be a love. So it's the same for bringing it all back. Like, everybody knows to leave me alone, because I am going to very slowly, I'm being serious, slowly put everything back where it belongs, or where it belongs adjacent, somewhere around the vicinity. Yeah, I know where all my stuff is. Yeah. But I'm gonna get a nice drink, and I am going to put on some music in the garage, and I'm going to just pull things off the jumping jack, just put things away, put the yaks back on there, whatever it is. I am going to do it my way and do it slowly. And it takes a lot of the grr out of having to pack up and pack out and to put stuff away. Just knowing that that's going to be part of your trip. And the neighbors might come around and say, my buddy, across the street might come out and just say, hey, man, hey, how was the trip? And now you're sitting there, standing there on the driveway, just having a good drink and reminiscing about the trip. How cool is that? That's almost worth the entire thing. Okay, fine. A good adventure with your people and all that. Okay, fine. Whatever. I like hanging out with my buddies and talking about what we did. That's a good reward. Kind of like the dessert, the icing on the cake, if you will. Now, I want to go back to the actual packing things up. One thing that I was taught actually by a non-camper that went camping with me, one of his very first times doing camping. And he had all these cool things. We'll talk about camp cooking in a minute, but he had all these cool things, like these little tiny, salt and pepper shakers. And he had a lot of good, like, condiments and all this and plates. He was pretty dialed in. He looked at me and said, dollar store. Brilliant. Holy mackerel. Brilliant. Why are you going to the grocery store and buying ketchup and mustard and all that stuff for your trip, and plates and forks and all that? They have all that at the Dollar Tree or store or whatever the heck they call it, 15 below, or I don't know what it is anymore. Nothing costs $1 anymore, but whatever those joints are called, yes, save money. There's no reason to do it any other way. They're just smaller, and you want smaller. You don't want a big old tub of ketchup on your trip. You just get this little small little guy you find right there at the dollar store. Yeah, see? I like that. Dollar store and Walmart, you're saving camping. God bless you. You don't even know it. But we do now. So that's how we do it. But you got to feed the troops. And one of the biggest things for me in camping is a good meal and good meals. I don't like going to deer camp, elk camp, whatever camp, hunt camp, or just camp and not have good food. There's absolutely no reason at all whatsoever to have bad food. My kids are spoiled in every way. I cook and I cook well for them. My kids expect that. If we go into a camp, I'm not kidding. If we go into a camp spot and I pull out hot dogs, they'll think I'm punishing them. They'll think, well, what happened, Dad? What do you mean hot dogs? Are we having is that just like a lunch thing, or is that you're cooking like we're doing like tri-tip or something like that for dinner, right? I mean, they'd be upset. So again, this comes to planning and preparation. So if you're going to cook good at the camp, look for the deals the weeks before. Look for the deals, pop it in the freezer or something like that. Because I don't pay full price for darn near any kind of meat. No way in heck. No way. But if you're at an elk camp, you're at a hunt camp, things like that, then you're pulling venison out of the freezer. You're pulling the bison. You're pulling whatever you have that because you're eating game while you're hunting game. That makes sense to me. But you might have somebody who's not really keen on camping, doesn't like to camp very much at all, but they have this type of experience where they've got really good food and really good people around them. They're going to want to camp a lot. And of course, that's what I always talk about: winning hearts and minds. Winning hearts and minds. So ditch the burgers and dogs, leave them at home. Get yourself some long skewers for some s'mores, because you're gonna have to have that, right? Having a campfire. And here's my pro tip on s'mores: ditch the Hershey's chocolate bar. Here's what you do: get chocolate covered graham crackers and marshmallows. Game changed, just like that. I don't even eat them, but I want to make sure that they're prepped right for the crew. I'm all about that. And yes, you are supposed to burn the marshmallow. If you fight me, you are supposed to burn the marshmallow. You light that bad boy on fire. And oh, it's one of the best parts of camping. This is one of the best parts of camping. You can't have a s'more with a little lightly roasted, lightly toasted marshmallow. Communist. Light that thing on fire like an American. That's all you need. Again, thanks for being here. We're talking about camp cooking. We're talking about as camping season is coming around, and we're really trying to lighten the mood. If you're hanging out in the comments on YouTube, don't worry. That's just a bot. They're like flies now. Bot flies. Ha! See what we did there? They're like flies. Yeah. And that's right, Scotty. Yeah, they are. S'mores are required camping equipment. We are Americans, and we burn our marshmallows. That's right, you do. But I mean, the Hershey's bars, I mean, sometimes they get a little, they kind of mess up the bite. That was me back when I ate them. I'm not a sugar guy, but they just messed up the bite. And by the way, I don't eat sugar, because if I did, I'd be a chubby bunny. I'm not kidding. I could take a pint of Ben & Jerry's or Haagen-Dazs down at a clip, 2, if I wanted to. That I had a absolute ice cream addiction. I had to cut sugar, because Daddy was pushing about close to 250. But I love me some ice cream. Yeah, they say, how did you cut sugar? Well, it's just it had to happen. But check this out: my kids always eat sugar, so I take the bag and there's a Bosa donut shop up the road from here, and I would they have a drive-through. I'm like, why would you go through the drive-through? If I get donuts from my peeps, how about this? I'm going in because I want to smell it. It's just like, just send you back. Yeah. Smother and covered. what Heather? What do you mean, Heather? Are we at a when it comes out? Yeah, see? It sounds like we're at Waffle House. I can't even hold on. I'm gonna put my glasses on to read this other hang tag. Smother and covered till it comes out, scattered and splat. All right, yes, right. Make it hot, scalding, burn the top of the mouth like an American. But that did sound like a Waffle House order. That really did. Oh my goodness. So appreciate you all being here and chiming in. And don't worry, again, don't mind the bot, the Russian bot that is following us. So we're gonna ditch all that stuff. But how do you cook really good stuff at a campsite? I mean, hot dogs easy, burgers easy, got it. Use your campfire. It's okay. Use your campfire. There's this wonderful camping equipment that you can put right over the campfire if you want to. I'll post several things about us cooking over a campfire. It's the way it is the way God intended it. Cook over your campfire. That's right. You just put the grates right over there. If you have an old grill grate like I like to use, boom, just set up some rocks, pop it right over there, and away you go. If you want to be really fancy, you take some of the coals out, put it off to the side of the campfire. Then you set up your little grill there and put some nice wood chunks down there so it's getting nice and flamey. Woohoo! Yes, and you do it just like you do it over a grill. Easy breezy. You've been doing this your whole life. Simple and easy, just like over charcoal. Same. So you're thinking, why in the heck have I been doing burgers and dogs? Exactly. Have some fun with it. Make some tacos. Make some do some tri-tip. And if you're from the Midwest, tri-tip is like a mini brisket. Is what it is. Tri-tip is God's gift to beef. Seriously, probably my top 3 favorite cuts of beef if I'm going to have beef. Yes. So other than that, we're doing game meat. You know how we do there. So that's these parts. So it seems easy, right? And it is. Here's where it gets easier. It gets easier if you do all of the prep at home. The cool thing is where I just went to Costco. Costco has this big thing of Tupperware, the snap lids has this big thing of Tupperware for like $14. So you buy a couple of those, and then you do all your chop, do your onions, do your salad, do all of that stuff on your way. I mean, before you go, put it in the cooler, and then everything's just pulled out. Get your salads ready. Make sure your salads are done. Make sure that baked potatoes are tough on a campfire. I'm not lying. Please look it up. I've screwed up some baked potatoes. My friends call me Fish. A lot of friends I hunt with call me Fish. It's just a nickname that stuck with me for quite a while. And trust me, it doesn't even have anything to do with me fishing. I'm not kidding. Just don't, or me smelling like a fish. Don't get crazy. They will not let me bring baked potatoes. As they say, Fish, what do you bring into camp? I'm like, meat, and they say not potatoes, all of them. Seriously, we couldn't even bite through these things. I thought they were done. They were in the coals for like a hot minute, literally. And apparently, I only cooked them for a minute because they didn't cook. So if a buddy of yours got a travel trailer or something like that, got a microwave in them, start them in the microwave, get them half cooked, and then throw them up on the coals, and then they should be just fine. Yeah. And in all of these things, by the way, so we're cooking over flame like God intended, cooking over campfire like God intended. This is the way it should be done. We know how to do our marshmallows now, and so we're good there. But again, if you're going to be trying something that you haven't done before, I would encourage to eliminate a huge mishap like baked potatoes. My first time doing baked potatoes on a campfire. I would highly encourage you, and I mean crazy encourage you, to try it at home first. Yeah. If you got a fire pit or something like that, or a buddy's got, or you, that's kind of a YouTubey kind of thing. But if you want to cook over flame, make it happen. I have a solo stove that I can cook over. So that's a good thing if you have a fire pit, it's not a gas fire pit. If you have a wood fire pit, that's always good to practice and get your skills right. And what a great excuse. Oh, yeah. I had to buy that tri-tip because I'm going to have tri-tip at our camp. So I'm going to go ahead and try. I'm going to try the tri-tip before we go. So I don't want to mess it up. I want to be on my A game when I'm at camp. I want the kids happy. I want the kids fired up. I want them excited. And then we're going to have a wonderful adventure and a wonderful time. So try before you go live. Heather just asked me, how good is the solo stove? There's a process. I love it that you asked me. Thank you for asking me that. And again, I'm not endorsed by Solo Stove, but if they want to throw me some money, they of course they can. Solo Stove is something that needs to learn. It is for the most part, a smokeless fire pit. Not smokeless. Okay. There is smoke coming out of this thing. But then sometimes you hit that sweet spot and you're like, there is no smoke coming out of this. So small logs, first down in there, you got to get your coals right. And during that, it's going to smoke. During get your coals right. And then your coals are right, then you can put smaller or medium, small logs on there. And as long as the wood stays under the top of that, it for the most part is very, very smokeless than most any other fire pit that I've used. So it does work. And then I just got the attachment for pellets, because I think this is going to be the sweet spot. So Heather, if you do find a deal, actually, I just got an email before it came on air that they've got some flash deal going on. Actually, still have that tab open right there. No, I'm not going to buy another one. But they have an adapter that you put down into it that has that you put pellets like on the pellet grill. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be the win. That's going to be the key that makes it smokeless. So we're going to give that a try. So, but they have cool cooking attachments. They have a wok that goes on top. They have a grill grate, and they have a cast iron flat. So cooking on that is just cool. It's just a really, really cool experience. And I got to tell you something, Heather, when you have the, I'm sorry, Heathen. Heathen, I'm sorry, man. See, this is it. This is why I need glasses. I'm sorry. I so apologize for that. So anyway, when you need it to travel with you, travel. It's good for beach camp. So it's good for beach camping, and it's good for basically just camping, and you don't have to deal with a fire pit. So it's really cool. but it does have the cool attachments. Yes. Yes. Oh, cool. What kind of pellet smoker do you have? I'm a huge fan of the Green Mountain Grill. Yes, the Green Mountain Grill is absolutely 100 million% fantastic. What I'm actually looking forward to doing is trying the pellets on the solo stove, so I can cook above that. That seems like an infinitely easy, and you can still, by the way, if you want like the mesquite or a hickory or an apple or a pecan, you can still put wood chunks in there to burn, and then it's going to be really nice. Ooh, I'm excited. You got me excited about this. Yeah, and if you can, here's the deal: if you can, Oklahoma Joe's nice, and if you can do me a favor and phonetically spell your name so I don't butcher it anymore like a schmuck, I'll just wear my glasses. I promise. Don't have to butcher anyone's name. The bottom line is this: is you need to take your kids camping. You need to take your neighbor's kids camping. You need to take your niece and nephew camping. You need to take your grandkids camping. There's the reason why, is because we all came up as campers. We were taken out camping when we were kids, and then we stopped because we got cool. We got in high school and we're hanging out with our people, and we didn't do all the camping. No, no desert parties, not camping. But it's important to take our kids out. So when they become cool like we did, and they didn't want to go hang out and do camping with the family and anything like that, that when they're older, they say, you know what I did? I went camping a bunch with my family. I want to keep doing that. I want to start doing that again. And if you are that person that said, you know what, as a kid, I went camping a lot. I'd really like to get my family into camping, but I don't know, I don't have a bunch of equipment. Again, don't break the bank. There's no reason to borrow from a friend, buy used. So, and speaking of that, have y'all ever been to a military surplus store? Have you been to that? Those things are fantastic. They have the coolest camping gear that there is, and it's inexpensive. Yeah. Blackstone has stepped up their game too. Okay, right on. Hey, look at that Blackstone. I didn't know they were doing that. I have a Blackstone little 3-burner. So that's kind of a 2-burner Blackstone. It was a Costco deal. Was smoking. No pun intended. Where was I going? Oh, yeah, military surplus stores. Fantastic for gear. Absolutely 100. And it's military grade. And by the way, that's real military grade. I don't know if you're like me, but you hear things like space age technology or state of the art. And you're like, what does that mean? State of the art? Space aged? I don't even know what that means. You're not impressing me that your stuff you're trying to sell me is space aged or state of the art. Yeah, no, but this is really military grade. You see these trucks, military grade steel, military. Okay, whatever. Go to the Army surplus store and guess a military surplus store. You're going to get military grade stuff. Canisters, the ammo cans, by the way, are great for your flatware at camp. Great, so they don't break. It's not in a bag and not poking through and stuff like that. Those are absolutely fantastic to do. And yeah, so those are cool shops to go to. And you have an excuse now because you're going to go camping. We're going to go surplus store. What? What do you need a surplus store? We're going camping. I need camping stuff. Yeah, and you get, by the way, camo's camo. I'm still dead sure of it. Now, a lot of people are going to ruffle some feathers there, but I'm telling you straight up, it is what it is. Yeah, I took my first deer. Check this out. No lie, I took my first deer wearing camo pants in a green shirt. Now let me tell you what about these camo pants. First time I went deer hunting, I was a resident of Southern California. Do you know or understand how difficult it is? And this was before Bass Pro opened in Inland Empire. How hard it is to find camo in Southern California. Camo anything. And this is before Amazon blew up and all that stuff like that. So I couldn't just pop online and buy some camo pants. I took my first big game wearing camo pants. You ready for this? From Old Navy. No lie. $15 pair of camo. And it's the camo. It's a little designer camo. It's a little, it's a little trendy camo. It ain't camo. It's not mossy oak breakup. It's none of that. There's no AP Realtree. It was, what do we call it? It was Old Navy Realtree. Old Navy breakup. Oh my gosh. I did. I was wearing Old Navy pants, like cargo pants. No, telling you. Yeah, wait a second. MREs. Whew, Scotty, that's taking it to a whole new level. MREs for camping. Do you like your friends and family? Well, yeah, I got to get on those. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you all hanging out. Hope you gave you a little some basics on camping. I encourage you to get out and enjoy this camping season, and just maybe get up the road, find a place in the desert, just get a tent up and some food, and just relax and have a good time, and just tune out for a little bit. And don't worry, when you come back, all the Go Show episodes are still going to be there. So I know a lot of you won't go camping because you're going to miss the Go Show. But it's something that's a sacrifice for your family. But Uncle Mike's got you. I'll have the podcast up and ready for you when you get back. So please share this out. Have fun. Thanks for having fun with us on comments. And thank you, Mr. Bot. The bot. Yeah, thank you. And I appreciate all of you being here. So this is the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a world that we live in. Get outdoors, have some fun. We'll see you tomorrow right here at 11. Have a great day, everyone.